I made 2 dummies out of cardboard boxes and stuffed them under the blankets. When the guards came to check the cell that night, Fatty hid under the covers and pulled the ropes tied to the dummies. The guards saw the blankets moving, assumed we were all asleep, and walked away. This trick took me 3 months to prepare. Once the guards were gone, I pulled out my modified spoon. I had sharpened the handle into the shape of a screwdriver. I used it to unscrew the bolts from the table one by one, then pulled a hacksaw blade from a hidden compartment inside. That blade took me 6 months to steal, piece by piece, from the tool room. All the tools were finally ready. I lifted up the floorboard, revealing a hole I had been digging for 8 months. I let my cellmate go down first. He called out that it was safe, so I climbed in too. Fatty lowered a rope with a rock tied to the end. I grabbed the rope and put the floorboards back in place from below. Then I tied the other end of the rope to my cellmate's ankle. It was a simple alarm system. If anything happened above, Fatty would pull the rope and we'd know to hide. Below the hole was a low basement, just tall enough to stand in, but the passage leading outside was blocked by iron bars. We had to saw through them. My cellmate and I took turns sawing, stopping every 20 strokes to listen for sounds. After 2 full hours of sawing, our hands were covered in blisters. Finally, the bars broke. I loosened the top and removed the bars. We squeezed through the gap, then put the broken bars back in place. Unless you looked closely, you'd never notice. We were now in a storage cellar filled with junk. I looked around and saw the door to the hallway was locked. Nearby was an old window frame with a rusty sword hanging on it. I took out my saw and started making a master key. Just then, I heard footsteps. The guards were patrolling. My cellmate and I pressed ourselves against a pillar. He climbed onto my shoulders to peek and track the guards' movements. I followed his signals, circling the pillar. Whichever way the guards went, we moved to the opposite side. They made 1 full round, found nothing, and left. I went back to making the key. I sawed through the connecting parts, then bent one side. The master key was ready. I walked to the door and slid the key into the lock. Perfect fit. A few turns, and the door opened. I pulled out a small oil lamp I had made from an ink bottle and lit it with a match. I closed the door behind us, and we kept moving forward. It was a long, pitch-black tunnel where you couldn't see a thing. At the end was another locked wooden door. I opened it with the master key, went through, and found another tunnel. We kept passing through tunnels and doors over and over. Finally, the sewer appeared ahead, but blocking our way was a steel door. The master key wouldn't fit the lock was completely different. I didn't panic. I wedged the key into the gap near the hinge, pulled out my saw, and started cutting the top hinge. After cutting through, I used the key as a wedge and sawed off the bottom hinge. With both hinges cut, I removed the broken pieces. I lifted the steel door and moved it aside. Ahead was a passage leading to the outside, but I couldn't leave just yet. I took out a match, snapped it in half, and jammed the head into the hinge slot. Once it was tight, I used the master key to tap the hinge back into place. After fixing both hinges, I put the steel door back. It looked completely untouched. Unless the guards inspected closely, they'd never know. We continued through the sewer. We hadn't gone far when I stopped. The exit ahead was sealed with cement. They had prepared for this in advance. I scraped the surface with my tool too hard, wouldn't budge. Then I tried the wall next to it. One scrape, and the surface crumbled off. It was cheap, low-quality cement. Just ahead was a corner. If we dug through the wall here, we could still escape, but the job was too big. We didn't have enough tools or time. I glanced at my cellmate. He understood. We had no choice but to go back the way we came. Once everything was ready, we'd return to finish the final step.